Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everybody, and welcome to Friday morning, November 19th, Tea with a Hacker. Cheers to everybody. We made it. We made it to Friday. Oh, we made it to Friday, everybody. I'm so happy. I'm so happy we made it to Friday. Rocking out some nice masala chai. My masala chai, like if you've been with the stream for a while and you've been on Tea with a Hacker for a while, you know that masala chai is definitely my kind of like go-to tea in the morning for sure. You know, I've got some really nice tea downstairs that I always rotate to, but masala chai is always something kind of my go-to. And I decided to kind of pull out the clay stein that I got while I was stationed in Germany. Got some nice, I'm not gonna spill it on the keyboard this time. I got some nice tea rocking out in there. That's good stuff. That's good stuff right there. Awesome. My name is Neil Bridges, and thank you for joining me this morning. Welcome to all of our new joiners, as well as our regular visitors. Real conversations with real people. That is direct from one of our guests. I'm going to do my short format intro, even though I have no idea how long this stream is going to go this morning. I think we will follow hype rules this morning for stream. So we'll see how much Friday hype we can get into on this Friday. We do have moderators in chat. I want to personally thank all of my moderators. Let me try that one again. We do have moderators in chat, and I want to personally thank each and every single one of my moderators each and every stream for their dedication. Moderators are here to keep chat free of sexist, racist, misogynistic, elitist, and otherwise toxic behavior. We have a zero tolerance. We have a zero tolerance for toxicity on this stream. And I do trust my moderators explicitly, and their decision is final. If you are put on a timeout or a ban, you should appeal to the moderators, not to me. This is a fantastic time to remind everybody, hit that exclamation point Discord button and hop on over into the Discord channel. That makes it easier for you to talk to the moderators. It is also how you're going to communicate when it comes giveaway time. Right? If you are interested in the giveaways, you do need to make sure that you are on Discord so that you can message the moderator of my choosing. It's kind of like Russian roulette, whichever moderator I pick, to make sure that you get entered into for the giveaway. If you are put on a timeout or a ban from a moderator, you will need to appeal to a moderator. Don't appeal to me. I actually don't check those messages at all. I don't have any control over that whatsoever. They are not here, however, to stifle chat at all. They're not here to stifle chat at all. As a matter of fact, the reason that we have moderators and the reason that we have rules is to make sure that your voice gets heard. Speaking of your voice getting heard, I'll be answering questions on stream. This is our Friday AMA, which stands for Ask Me Anything. Ask me anything. What does that mean? What does that mean? It means all sorts of stuff. Ask me how I'm doing. Ask me, where I got the lights from. Ask me about the different golf balls that I got over here. You can ask me cybersecurity questions. I got 25 years plus worth of cybersecurity knowledge in this tiny bald noggin on here. Like all the cyber knowledge killed all the hair. That's why I have no hair. Like otherwise I'd look like, insert somebody with hair that's awesome. Ryan Reynolds. If I had hair. But no, I got 25 years worth of cyber knowledge up in here that I want to give to you for free. Like I'm here. I'm just sitting here chilling, drinking my tea, giving you cyber knowledge. Your questions are so important. You can ask me I&E questions, although I will say that this is not an official I&E media outlet. Anything I say is my own opinion and mine alone, and therefore is not directly sanctioned by the chief marketing officer at I&E. Apparently, we got to make that clear for some people that are out there. Your questions are very important to us. They are the prime value that comes from our streams being live. However, we do ask that you ask your question only once. Just once. Asking it more than once may result in a timeout or a ban, as it is considered spamming. I promise you, our moderators do see all your questions, and we do make sure that we get as many questions answered on our time on stream together. So ask them at any time about any topic, and we will do our best to address them. I would like to take a moment to thank our partners. Our partners provide prizes and discounts for you. When I say that, right, what does that mean? Every single one of our partners comes to us because they want to give back to you, the community, right? Attack IQ brings you free training, right? Carbon Black brings you free training. We got some, I got an awesome challenge that I'm going to talk to you about that we're working closely with Carbon Black on. That I'm hoping is going to be pretty awesome as well, right? Root provides a 20% discount when they're in stock, right? Query.ai provides a free, INE premium voucher every month, right? All of our partners are giving back to you, right? And obviously we have today's stream, which is Friday Resupply, which is explicitly sponsored by Josh Mason and the Cyber Supply Drop. So what my ask is always that you hit that exclamation point partners, you find some of our partners, you go give them a shout out, right? Let them know that you saw them on stream. That way they can continue to support you. Right? They can continue to support you. I want to thank them for their support. See, this is what I'm talking about. Ty, thank you so very much. Neil, how are you? I'm awesome. I'm super. Listen, how am I? Right? It's easy for me to hop on here and be hyped, right? You all make me hype, right? It's like you all feed the hype train. I want you to make no mistake about it. You all on this stream, every single time that we turn in, you all feed the hype train, right? Outside of that, man, it was a hard week. We had our board of directors meeting on Tuesday, right? And so obviously Monday was a whole lot of board prep on Monday. And despite our best efforts to keep the board meeting short on Tuesday, we obviously had pre-board meeting prep Wednesday morning, and then we were literally sitting in a board meeting from 12 o'clock till about 5 p.m. It was pretty rough. And then on top of that, then we had dinner with the board, which, you still have to like, it's not just about like going to a meeting. Like for those of you who spend time in a corporate environment, like going to a board meeting is not just like, oh, I'm just gonna go sit in a board meeting for 4 hours, right? Because you've got to be engaged, you got to be on your game. The board is there both to help you and to make sure that, you're meeting your objectives. And so you've mentally got to be on. And then you go to dinner, right? Which sounds like, oh, Neil, you went to a fancy dinner. Who cares? You still got to be on, right? It's like an extension of the board meeting, right? You think that it's not, but there are still politics at play in that 3 hours that you're at dinner, right? It's who you sit next to. It's the conversations you have. It's the messages that you're trying to get across in a, less formal type of environment. And so I didn't get home until about 8-ish or so o'clock. And then I had to talk to Vivek out of Singapore because we are pushing and hard charging forward on a lot of the lab stuff. And I ended up being on the phone with Vivek for another 2 hours. So Tuesday ended up being a super, super long day. Just a peek behind the curtains. I'm happy to talk about board meeting stuff. Happy to talk about what that's like. It is critically important, and I can't stress this enough. If you've come on the stream before, you know that we talk about the ability and the importance of talking to the business. And so, happy to answer questions on that as well. Neil, no hoodie this week? No. Honestly, so I went for a run this morning. I supporting the hashtag healthy hackers. I did my run this morning, and I'm one of those runners that it takes me like a good hour or two before my body temperature isn't like 1,000 degrees. Right. And so it's like I got a towel right here just in case I start sweating here on stream, right? That's how my body temperature is. And so no, if I were wearing a hoodie right now, I made that mistake yesterday. Chat. I had an 8 o'clock in the morning meeting because I was meeting with the sales and marketing team in Singapore from Pen Tester Academy, and I wore a hoodie because it was chilly in the morning. I was like, I'll wear a hoodie, no big deal, right? I didn't leave the studio until about noon after we were done with all of our meetings, and my hoodie was drenched. So no, I have to be very, very, very cautious on hoodies. But I love my hoodies. Hey, if you all like hoodies, don't forget to hit that exclamation point merch. We do have our merch store up. I saw a lot of people who were like, "Oh my God, Neil has a merch store." Yeah, we've got a cybersecurity merch store where you can get some awesome hoodies hanging out over in the merch store. My masters in cybersecurity worth it? Short answer, no. But again, listen, this is hard for me, right? When you ask me this question, you have to remember where I come from, right? I don't have a bachelor's degree. I don't have a master's degree. I'll never have any of those degrees, and I have no intention of getting one. It has never stopped me from getting a director job. It's never stopped me from getting a CISO job. It's never been a conversation that stopped me from getting a job at a Big Four. I obviously am chief content officer. With I&E, it hasn't stopped me from getting that. And to this day, if you ask Josh Mason, if you ask Jack, if you ask Brian, if you ask Lola, if you ask anybody that I've ever interviewed with in my entire career, if Sean Spence is in chat, if Safe is in chat, if anybody that I've ever interviewed, that you see show up in chat is in chat, they'll tell you I have never asked about a degree because I could care less. I know that as cybersecurity degrees today are freaking useless. I do not subscribe to them. Cybersec Mom, so glad to see you with the super chat. Thanks for being you. Cheers to you. Hopefully you're staying groovy on your side of the planet. Oh, I know Gerald would disagree. And listen, I don't worry. Listen, I think everybody should pursue what makes them happy, right? I totally do. Like, if you want to get, like, and this goes back to my philosophy, right? When I talk about, what it is that you choose to do on your journey, right? If getting it, like, everybody loves trophies. I think this is the best. Thanks U.S. Air Force. Yeah, I got my 2 associate's degrees. Thanks for showing up for a day of work at the U.S. Air Force, right? I have certifications here, right? There's some more that are hanging out in a closet over here. And there's some that are on a bookshelf out there in the hallway, right? They make great trophies, right? But I don't have that desire or that drive to get that trophy. You know what trophy I'd rather get? I'd rather go get me a golf trophy. Like, that's a trophy that I feel like I'll get more use out of than a degree trophy. But you should pursue it. Listen, that feeling in your heart. Let's be real for a second, right? If you have that feeling in your heart, and you all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. When you talk about, like, getting that feeling in your heart where it's like, I did this. I got a degree. I got a bachelor's. I got a master's. I got a PhD, right? If getting that stuff hits in the feels, fucking go get it. Go get it, right? If it hits you in the feels to get it done, 10 of 10, go get it. But is it worth it on a career basis, from like an upward mobility basis? You ask this guy says no. This guy says no. Any update on the AWS beta? Thanks, Brian. I thought I've given this one. I thought I'd given this one a bit ago. Just saw this one from Devnull. Devnull says imposter syndrome is real this week. On his. Thank you, Devnull, for being a member for 5 months. Thank you so very much for supporting the stream. I really do appreciate it. It's been great working with you. Imposter syndrome is real this week. Hey, everybody, take a second. Give Devnull some hype hands. He started a brand new job this week. What I would argue is probably the closest thing he's got to his first true cybersecurity role. He's getting there. He's working with a great company. He's been part of the Cyber Protege program. We worked really closely to try to get him into a good position to score this job. I was really proud of the work that he put into into getting this job that he's got now. Give him some hype hands. Let him know that you know, he's got support here in this team. I'm proud of you, Dev. I'm proud of you. I tell you that. I'm proud of you. I'm always super proud of you. Anyway, Brian, back to your question on the update on the AWS beta. The AWS beta, everybody who passed, I'm saying this, I'm pretty sure that this is the case. Everybody who passed should have got notified that they passed. If you didn't get notified you passed, you probably will have an exam voucher for a free retake when it goes live. Now, if you're asking when is it going to go live, this one I can't talk about specifically other than to say you need to pay attention. You need to pay attention in December, which is right around the corner. But I would say there is going to be a massive drop in December. Like hundreds of hours of content. And then all the work that we've put in over the summer for these betas is going to become realized. So I would say you should have known if you pass. If not, you'll have an exam voucher. Otherwise, everything that you've been waiting for in that space, I want to tell you so bad. You know that I would. You know that I would. But I can't right now. Ty, thank you so very much for the super chat. Says, why are companies pushing the 4-year degree? Because there are a bunch of old fogies, and I don't mean that from an ageism perspective. I mean that from an old mentality perspective, right? Who still think that 4-year degrees, right, are an indicator of knowledge. When in this day and age with cybersecurity, not the case. What about the Azure beta? Hype hands in chat if you were part of the Azure beta. Let me know how many people are part of the Azure beta. I talked about this. I can't. Maybe I talked about this in sub chat. I'll say it again here. If you remember when we had Brooks on, we talked about hiring Amanda, who's got a PhD in instructional design, and she's amazing. She's amazing. She is utterly brilliant. I absolutely love her. She has brought a very metrics-driven approach. So listen, let's talk about certifications for a second, right? And again, this is a hard conversation, right? And again, I want to make sure that I'm going to start the certification conversation off by saying what I'm about to say is Neil's personal opinion, not reflective of INE, not reflective of the strategy at INE. This is Neil's personal opinion, and I got no problem sharing it because I'm transparent with you all on the stream, transparent with everybody, right? The certification market sucks. It is saturated. Everybody has, everybody just poops out certs and expects immediate adoption. They're like, oh, if I just put out a cert, I'll get immediate adoption. And I think that what ends up happening, right, is this is why people still only gravitate towards certifications that, that have stood the test of time. Right? To be quite honest with you. And so the certification business is hard. Now, when I go back to putting on my INE hat, right? What I'll say is this is why when we started to look for an instructional designer in the content team, we wanted to find somebody who could bring a level of credibility into the process with how we made certifications, right? We didn't. I mean, listen, I could ask Josh Mason to be like, Josh, While you're writing PTS, just start smashing together some eJPT stuff. All right, cool. Go do it, doggy. Right? And he could do it. I have no doubt about that whatsoever. Right? Alexis, right? Hackersploit, go make some eJPT questions and go kick ass at it. Right? I have no problem that those guys can do it. I have no doubt that those guys can do it. But for those who don't know, there's like an entire statistical process behind it. How many cognitive questions? How many demonstrative questions? What language is used in the cognitive questions? And Doc Jade asked this question. Doc Jade is in university, so I'm sure Doc Jade can appreciate this being in university, right? The words that you use in a question determine whether it's a 100 skill level, a 200 skill level, a 300 skill level, 400 skill level, right all the way up to the top, right? There is a statistical rationale behind how many people do you have in beta? What does your sample size need to be? How many of those have experience in, how many of those have less than 5 years of experience, 5 to 8 years of experience, over 8 years of experience, right? Things like that, right? All of that process goes into place to build a credible certification program. And that's what we've done. So now with that context in place, most of you are like, what the hell is Neil talking about? The question was about the Azure beta. Just tell us about the Azure beta. This is how Neil thinks for those who are new to the stream, right? I want you to understand how the sausage is made before I get to the answer to this question. Now that you understand how the sausage is made, we had a ridiculously low pass rate. When I say ridiculously low, we had a 30% pass rate on the Azure exam. Stand by one. One of the boss is calling, and I'm pretty sure he knows that I'm on stream. No. He said, I get the stream. Is it an emergency? Oh shit, sorry. See, I love ironing, right? They get it. They understand, they get it. We had a ridiculously low pass rate. Like 30%. And so, obviously we kind of took a step back. Right, and I just saw this in chat, right? 30% means cream of the crop. Remember, this was an associate level course. 30%, we don't want a 30% on an associate level course, right? Because again, getting back to instructional design methodology, for an associate level course, you want that to be a little bit higher up, right? Right? So we took a step back, right? We took a look at the we took a look at the content, we took a look at the exam, and we realized we had some huge gaps in there. And so the Azure, and this is exactly why we have a beta, and this is exactly why we haven't released the results of that beta, is because now we're in the midst of trying to rectify the gaps in content and the gaps in the certification to try to fix that there. Right. And so, unfortunately, I appreciate everybody who helped with the Azure beta. Hopefully you got something out of it. Your feedback was ridiculously important. And this is exactly why we do betas. And so the Azure piece is now undergoing kind of a redesign because we screwed up. Right. We screwed up. So, again, appreciate asking those questions. Happy to answer them any day of the week, twice on Sunday. And as you see, this is why I'm happy to be transparent about it. But there's an entire process behind this. And unfortunately, we were not happy with the results of that beta. And so we're going back to town on that. What are the best soft skills to have for working in incident response? Crisis management. Go study how first responders respond to crises on scene, right? And this is a fantastic question, Michael. I love this question, right? I love this question. I'll tell a story. You all know that I love to tell stories, especially on the when it comes to stuff that I've done in the past. when I ran the incident response team for one of the Fortune 100 companies, that I ran for in the past, obviously part of my goal was to get the organization used to the fact that we get hit with incidents every day. At this particular company, it was to the tune of 300 to 400 incidents per day that we would get hit with, right? One day, we had gotten hit with one of those attacks where somebody had sent a phishing email, compromised a set of credentials, and then immediately turned around, accessed that person's email account, used that email account to send out more emails, more phishing emails to everybody else's, right? I think it only ended up being about 700-ish or so. So the company was about 150,000 people large, right? So 700-ish was the total number that it managed to get out to before we as an incident response team identified it and were able to shut it down, right? So I'm literally walking. This was obviously before COVID, right? I'm literally walking from one side of the campus to the other side of the campus to go to a senior staff meeting with the CISO, for his team. And I get into the senior staff meeting, and before it starts, he always looks at me. I was kind of his right-hand man. He always looks at me to kind of be like, is there anything major happening in the world today? And so I kind of said, hey, boss, just so you know, literally as I'm walking over here, I got a brief on, and I explained the incident to him. And I said, it's in containment. We're in the process of remediation recovery right now, right? Explain the incident response process steps to him. And he instantly starts freaking out. And he's like, Neil, we need to call in the CIO. We need to fire up the crisis action team. I want all hands on deck. And I'm like, stop. It's 700 out of 150,000 people, and we've stopped the attack. And this went on for about 5 minutes, him going back and forth. He was obviously very livid. He was obviously very, very animated about the prospect of this happening. And I was over there like very, very calm. And he realizes that I'm not going to do it. Right. It's not that kind of incident. And he looks at me, and you gotta remember, I'm in a room with all of my peers, and it is dead quiet because they're like, Neil and the CISO are fighting. Him and I are good friends. We text each other to this day. We weren't really fighting. It's more just, constructive, back and forth banter. But the room is dead quiet as this is going on. And he looks at me and he goes, Neil, why are you so calm? And I said, because in a crisis, somebody has to be calm to keep a level head, to make sure that the mission gets accomplished. That is the soft skill that you need as an incident responder, is to be able to keep your head and keep your cool when the CISO is yelling at you because he's freaking out, he or she is freaking out because they don't understand what's going on, right? So the best soft skill for you to have in terms of working in incident response, hone those crisis management skills, hone that ability to show up to a disaster and be the cool, level-headed, logical thinking person in the room. That's how you succeed in that game. Excellent question, though. Excellent question. Love that one. Can I start learning cybersec with my phone? Can you read PDF articles and websites and things like that from your phone? If yes, then you can start learning cybersecurity with your phone. Again, listen, some of y'all take the learning cybersecurity thing to the extreme, right? You're like, can I start a VM on my phone and go hack a box? And that's your definition of learning cybersecurity. If you can read or you can listen to a video on YouTube, you can learn cybersecurity on your phone. I promise you, right? I want you all to think about things. I want you to start to think about 3 concepts. And if you watch my networking video, you'll see that I'm very big on 3s. I've seen some people joke like that's as far as Neil can count. I'm okay with that. I'm a simple man. 3 things is about the easiest thing for me to remember, right? If you tell me more than 3 things, chances are I'm probably going to forget by the time I get back to my desk anyway, right? I want you to remember 3 things. Crawl, walk, run. Same concept. Good, better, best, right? You can crawl by reading and watching YouTube. Jumping into getting a laptop, doing labs might be a bridge between crawling and walking, right? But when you say learning cybersecurity, I'm going to tell you, you got a phone? Go download some YouTube videos. Put us up on stream whenever whenever we stream. When Jack comes on tonight for Tipsy Cyber, tune into Jack, right? Go watch Gerald Auger's stream, right? All that stuff you can do on a mobile device, right? Good, better, best, crawl, walk, run, right? Easy solutions to answering that question. Short answer is yes, you absolutely can. What should we do about people who say you should check all the boxes for entry-level jobs, discourage noob like me? Listen, listen, this goes back to what I said a couple of weeks ago. Go back and watch last week's stream when I get on a high horse about not letting the industry define you. Go back to 2 weeks ago where I talk about not letting the industry define you, right? Don't let the like, what do you say to people who say you got to check all the boxes for entry-level jobs? Tell them, hey, that path's not for me. Hey, glad it worked out for you, not for me, right? What should you do? You should go watch my imposter syndrome video and stop letting the rest of the industry define what it is. Listen, I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this during my run, right? I was thinking about this during my run this morning. Running has gotten to be a nice place where I absolutely can't stand to listen to my own feet hit the pavement, right? That clackety clack of my fat ass hitting the pavement every time I run bothers the hell out of me. So I think about things. Right? And I was thinking about it this morning. This is a half-formed thought, but this is what I was thinking about. I was reading Josh's post this morning. Josh's post on LinkedIn talked about his transition story, right? And he was talking about, people who apply to every Jim Joe Bob job application that's out there. And then I was thinking about the advice that I've given on, focusing on your brand and, the strategies around getting a job and things like that. And the thought that I had was a line of messaging that truly is like getting a job is so ridiculously about luck. Let me say that again. Getting a job is so dependent on luck. Now, before everybody shoots themselves and like, oh my God, Neil's off the chain. What's going on? That's not to say that you can't increase your luck, hedge your bets, put in strategies to be more effective, right? But getting a job, I could tell you every job I had from the time I was 15 years old has been luck. Now, I'm not saying that I'm the norm by any stretch of the imagination, but if you were to be really, really honest with yourself, could you differentiate? Serious question for most of you out there who have a job. Serious question to think about yourself, right? Drop your comments on chat if you agree or disagree. Let me know your thoughts on this. But if luck is 100, if luck is 100%, right? If getting a job is 100% luck, and you have a good resume, then maybe it's 90% luck, right? If you have a good LinkedIn, maybe it's 80% luck. If you've got a really, really good network, maybe it's 50% luck, right? You see what I'm doing there? I'm taking the 100% luck and I'm edging off the things that I can do to make it less about luck and more about the work that I put in. And sure, I'll put certs and I'll put degrees in there. Absolutely. Right? Sometimes it's right place, right time. Right? But if you start with 100% of you getting your first cybersecurity job or your 50th cybersecurity job is luck, what you learn over time is how to take away some of that luck so that you control the outcome. And I think that that's what I wanted to kind of, that's the thought that I had this morning as I was running, was when people ask, like, you should do all of these things to get an entry-level job. I think what you're saying, I think what you're hearing, right, is they're saying, this is what I've done to hedge my luck and put more control into my hands in getting my cybersecurity job. Brandon in the house. Brandon and I keep missing each other day in and day out. I owe Brandon a conversation, but glad to see you in chat as always, buddy. And so what I would say is, right, the people who are saying this to you, Zach, or anybody else who's saying this to you, right, they're giving you their opinion on what they did, on their steps to hedge their luck in getting their cybersecurity role. Don't let it discourage you, but look at it. And this is what we keep talking about. Cyber Roflo in chat. God, I love seeing Cyber Roflo. Make sure you give my man Rodney a follow over there on LinkedIn. He's doing some kick-ass stuff over there. Right? What I think you need to realize, and what I think you need to say to yourself is, this is a set of tools in the toolbox. The LinkedIn video that I made is a tool in the toolbox. TryHackMe is a tool in the toolbox. Certs are tools in a toolbox. Degrees are tools in a toolbox, right? Take that 100% of luck and ask yourself, which tools do you need to solve your knowledge gaps? And this gets back to what I've said before about chasing knowledge, don't chase certs. What tools do you need to pull out of the toolbox to fix your knowledge gaps and ultimately hedge your luck on finding a cybersecurity job? That's what I would say to that one. Are there any plans to update INE Practical Network Security course? Yes, 100%. Absolutely. Absolutely. How can you tell during the interview if the new role you felt hyped about is going to be a big pile of mess? The art of asking good interview questions is a mark of maturity in your cybersecurity journey, right? Because you won't know until you start asking those questions in an interview. And boy, have I done some interviews where asking those questions has uncovered some red flags where I've come back and I've talked to Carmen and I'm like, nope, that's going to be a huge giant no for me on that job. Right? It's real easy to get hyped about job descriptions. It's really easy to get hyped about it. And so I would say, ask questions like, hey, so what does the day-to-day look like? You know, these get to some of those esoteric questions, right? Not necessarily specifically, right, about, you know, the technical side of the questions, but what does the day-to-day look like? What does, hey, can I talk to somebody on the team? If it's a leadership question, right? If you're going in for a leadership position, right? Be like, hey, can I talk to people on the team? Can I talk to people on the adjacent team? Can I talk to my peers? Can I talk to my peers in another organization? Can I talk to business leaders in another organization? Right? can I, you need to find don't listen. Remember, you can ask during the interview process to interview somebody else, right? You don't have to stick to interviewing the 2 or 3 people that they tell you have to interview for, right? If you interview with like the 3 golden children, right, that they want you to interview with, and you don't have a good feeling about it, you can be like, hey, look, can I talk to somebody in the business? Can I talk to one of my peers? And if they tell you no, maybe that's a red flag, right? Maybe that's a red flag, right? Listen, what I would say is, like, most HR people only want you to have 3 interviews because they have found that statistically that's the best way so that you don't lose interest as a candidate and it has the least amount of impact to the people interviewing you. But that doesn't mean that if you say, hey, look, these 3 interviews were nice, but I'd really love to go talk to this business leader over here. Can I go talk to them? And then if they say no, that should be a red flag for you, right? And so I think that this is where that art of having those psychological interview questions when you're interviewing for a job does. And I'll tell you right now, that is one of the number one videos. There's 2 that Amoeba and I are working on that we're trying to get out the door, is how to ask some of those more psychologically based questions when it comes to that, right? Yeah. Always ask, can I talk to your newest person? Ask to talk to your newest person. Ask to talk to the person with the longest tenure. Right? Ask to talk to the person with the longest tenure. See what that crusty old person's there to say, right? BSEC had one. Here was one that BSEC had. I saw it kind of come through. Why would a leader not be allowed to talk to their teams? That seems idiotic if you're not allowed to do that. It's one of those things where it's like they don't want to take away, like, so like when I interviewed for the SOC position and one of the jobs I had before, right? They handpicked a couple of the people out of my team to interview with me. And I went back and I was like, cool, can I talk to these people now? And I actually went on LinkedIn and did some recon on some people in the team. And I picked people that I wanted to talk to. And I got a much, much better, because they weren't prepared, because they weren't groomed by HR, because they weren't groomed by leadership. I got a much, much better opinion about what I was walking into when that happened. Absolutely. Stream idea. Do TryHackMe throwback or HoloLive networks on stream, preferably without using their walkthrough. Seeing how an experienced pen tester will approach an AD network will be beneficial to many. This is a thanks for this statement, Vidas. So anybody who has content suggestions, make sure you're over on Discord. Hit those ! Discord commands inside of chat. Head over to Discord. There's a content suggestion channel in Discord. We welcome all content suggestions. The interns and I, we parse through those content suggestions. And we try to make either stream ideas or video ideas all together. I love this. Listen, I get this question a lot. Seeing how an experienced pen tester will approach X. Let me talk about this for a second, right? Because I have mixed feelings on this. And I'm just being real with y'all, right? There are some damn good pen testers out there right now. There are some damn good pen testers right now who are doing some damn good content, right? I don't see anything wrong with the content that's out there now. And I'll be more than happy to curate a list. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll add that to it. Maybe somebody can add that to a content suggestion. Curate a list who I think is producing content out there. Because, like, what's the use in me doing a video or me doing a stream where I regurgitate, again, to a walkthrough perspective? Like if there's a walkthrough and the walkthrough is good, I'm not going to redo it. Like, I'm not a big fan of redoing content. I'm not a big fan of copycatting people's content. Like, that's why you don't see me doing TryHackMe's on stream. Now, there's an exception coming up, and I'm doing it as a favor, right? So Ben Spring, the co-founder of TryHackMe, he reached out to me personally, and this is the reason why I'm going to do it. Ben Spring personally reached out to me and invited me to come do Advent of Cyber. Like, I have enough respect for Ben, and I have enough respect for TryHackMe, and I have enough respect for this industry that I will do it for Ben and for TryHackMe because he asked me to do it. Right? But that's not because like and that doesn't feel like I'm copycatting, because it's Advent of Cyber. These are challenges that people are going to see for the first time, right? I'm not copying everybody else's walkthroughs that are already out there, right? What I want you all to get from me when you come to me, right? I look at things and I try to find gaps in the place where people aren't talking about the realities of cyber. Brandon knows this. Jack knows this. When we talked about what the stream was a year ago, right? If anybody's ever paid attention to the underlying title of cyber insecurity, it's demystifying cybersecurity. Demystifying cybersecurity. Because what a lot of us who have been in this industry for a while have found, right, is that there's so much spotlight on these small little areas of cybersecurity. Pen testing is one of them, right? There are so much spotlight put on areas that don't make up the largest percentages of cybersecurity. And so the mission of folks like Brandon, the mission of folks like Jack, the mission of those of us who have been long-term content providers here on the Cyber and Security channel has been about demystifying the things that nobody will talk about cybersecurity. I'll be more than happy to talk to you about my approach on Active Directory. Will you ever catch me sitting around doing TryHackMe rooms and being like, here's how I would approach this? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I've talked about doing blue team labs. The reason I've talked about doing blue team labs, and unfortunately, the last few Mondays haven't worked out. You'll see that there's kind of a placeholder for a dev stream, a lab stream. It's because there's not a whole lot of people doing blue team labs. And I would love to talk to the community about how we do incident response at a corporate level, right? How we do, incident triage, how we do threat hunting, how do you implement threat hunting models? Because those are things that just aren't talked about at the same volume that they are pen testing. And so it's not that listen, there are going to be haters. There are going to be haters who are going to be like, oh, Neil's washed up. That's why he doesn't want to do it on stream. He's afraid of looking bad. I'm never afraid of looking bad. Like, have you seen this face? I look bad every single time I turn this camera on, right? I'm not afraid of screwing up in front of y'all. Like, listen, like anybody who remembers last year we did the honeypot stream, I had the largest brain fart live on stream as I couldn't figure out how to install a freaking Docker container last year. Like, I'm not afraid of screwing up with you guys on stream. That is the furthest thing from my mind. I'm trying to provide value. And I think that there's so many other good concepts and other good content creators that I can provide value in other ways. Put it in there. Maybe we'll do it at some point in time. Speaking of Advent of Cyber, don't forget we're going to have Ben Spring. Ben Spring is going to be here live. Cybersec Mom, good to see you again. Thank you so much for the super chat. Hope you have a fantastic evening over there in Dubai. We're going to have Ben Spring on November 29th, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tan May, you didn't miss the giveaway. We haven't got to it yet. I've been running off at the mouth. Haven't missed the giveaway yet. Right? We are going to have Ben Spring on 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, November 29th. I think that one is actually over on the channel info right now. If you go over to the content section, if you look at the live content, you should be able to set yourself a reminder. Yep, there it is. Just checking for that stream with Ben Spring. We are going to have a massive giveaway. massive giveaway that's going to happen that morning. You're not going to want to miss it that morning. We're going to be talking about Advent of Cyber. And then, of course, obviously with that, I am doing Advent of Cyber this year with TryHackMe. They sent me the rooms that I'm going to do. And again, this speaks very much to this, right? When Ben gave me the list of rooms, he was like, Neil, which rooms do you want to do? Right? And so when I looked at the rooms, I tried to pick rooms where I didn't see a whole lot of content. So again, my contribution to Advent of Cyber, my contribution to not only you all, the cyber and security community, but the broader CyberSec community is for the Advent of Cyber. I'm going to do I'm going to do a cloud room for Advent of Cyber, ECR and containers, reviewing container images in AWS Elastic Container Registry for sensitive information. And I'm also going to be doing NFS, network file shares. That one's been kind of overdone, but I felt like that's one that's fun to talk about anyway, talk about some of the stories about things that I found by perusing network file shares and just the value of the data that you can find on network file shares. So at a minimum, those are the two rooms that I plan on doing for Advent of Cyber. So I'm super looking for that one as well. Make sure you do put that on your calendar because that is going to be fun. Now this is the right way to phrase it. I'm getting a cert. I'm getting a SANS course paid for. Cheers to you, my friend. 504 GCIH, good pick. There's a lot to choose from. 1 year enterprise blue team experience. I taught GCIH. I think 504 is a fantastic course to start off with. It's labeled incident handler course, but unless they've changed it too much, only that one chapter at the very beginning is actually about incident handling. It's a long chapter. The rest of it is about hacker techniques, and then they whittle in like how to detect and detect them on the wire. That's why I always enjoyed teaching GCIH. I like that. I've always loved that purple teaming concept, right? Where I teach blue teamers how to hack, and I teach blue teamers how to look for hacks on the wire, right? And so I love GCIH from a content perspective for that reason alone, and especially that you're blue teaming, you're going to get your hands on offensive tool sets and offensive capabilities that's going to allow you to understand more of what's going on in a hacker mindset that I think is critically important. So I think GCIH obviously gets a huge bump in my book. And again, this is the right way to phrase it, guys. Girls, when you think about like, hey, Neil, is GCIH good? Not if you're paying for it yourself. Oh, somebody's going to pay for it? Cheers. Good job. Go have fun with it. I'm a DevOps engineer. I have an interest to learn cybersecurity, and I'm not sure where to start. What is your advice on this? Go to INE, sign up for the starter pass. Go take PTS, which is pen testing student, and get your feet wet there. Use that. I talk very much about the thread concept, right? Pull on that thread. Learn pen testing in a course like pen testing student. Learn how valuable that information is. Similar to like the GCIH stuff where I talk about learning the attacker techniques. Learn the attacker techniques and see where your mind goes after that, right? See where you go down the rabbit hole after that, and then I would branch off from there. Maybe it's some of the cloud stuff, maybe it's cloud security, maybe it's security engineering and architecture, maybe it's AppSec, web app pen testing, maybe it's security application design, right? All sorts of stuff, right? Tune into Jack Reedy tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Tipsy Cyber. He covers a lot of blue team type of stuff. If you're a DevOps engineer, it's an easy transition to go from DevOps engineer to blue teaming concepts. He's a great person to talk about that. Speaking of DevOps, DevSecOps, things like that, we are going to go ahead and start our giveaway for today. Fantastic opportunity to remind everybody to make sure you are in Discord. You are in Discord, so make sure you hit that exclamation point Discord to get in there. You're going to message Josh Mason when you're in Discord, when we call your name as a winner. We are going to give away two. We're going to pick two winners. Don't hit exclamation point raffle unless, did Jack already run it? Oh, Jack already started it. My bad. My bad. I didn't hear him in my ear. I was too busy running off at the mouth. It's too busy right off at the mouth. We're going to give away two. We're going to pick two winners for Adrian Cantrell's All the Things. Listen, I have said it. I have said it numerous times. If you are in cybersecurity and you are not thinking about the cloud in some way, shape, or form, if you're not thinking about going into the cloud in some way, shape, or form, you are behind the curve. You're behind the curve. And so that's why I'm super excited to give away Adrian Cantrell's All the Things. This is why I keep telling you all on a cybersecurity stream that we are talking about, that we are doing some cloud content, because I want you all as cybersecurity professionals to understand cloud is where your head needs to be at. Cloud is where your head needs to be at. Right? Everybody in here needs to be focused on cloud in some way, shape, or fashion. Answer that one. Let's see here. Let's do this one. This looks like a good one. This one talks about burnout. Let's say, working at a very busy MSP and getting burnout. Is cybersec the same sort of pace? According to your cybersec roles flowchart, my best path is SOC analyst, threat hunter. Anyways, big fan and lurker. Don't mind you lurking. We've got tons of lurkers. I say hi to all my lurkers. I got no problem. As you can see, feel free at any point in time to drop those questions in there, whether you're lurking or not. MSPs, like I think MSPs, consulting, startups, like tech startups, those three are probably the highest burnout that you'll get in cybersecurity. Listen, we talk about SOC analyst, right? SOC analyst can be a hard job, right? When we talk SOC analyst, it's important to remember SOC analyst could very much be an incident responder. An incident responder, you are responding to cybersecurity incidents, right? And it's like, yeah, duh, Neil, that's the title of it, right? It's an incident responder. That's the title of it, right? But again, I go back to what I was saying before. One of the Fortune 100 companies I worked at, first thing I had to do as a leader was to get the organization used to the fact that they were getting hammered hundreds of times a day, thousands of times a day, right? At this one company, it was 300 to 400 times every day there was an incident, right? And so if you've got 10 people on your incident response team, right, 400 times a day, somebody with public math, that's 40 incidents per person per day on an 8-hour shift. It's 5 incidents an hour. That's 5 times in an hour that you are fighting the bad guy on the wire. Let me say that again. It's 5 times in an hour that you're fighting the bad guy on the wire. When you put it like that, this is why I tell you all, like there's pen testing is this. Pen testing is this. Red teaming is this. Your incident responders, your SOC analysts are fighting bad guys on the wire every hour of every day. Defending an organization. Hats off to you all. So yeah, it's naturally prone to quite a bit of burnout, right? You are the only thing stopping your company from being hacked 5 times every hour. It's hard life. The flowchart was not released. I think somebody went back on a video and took a snapshot of the video and posted up on socials. I'm a little behind on getting the flowchart released, but I'm hoping to have it out soon. That's the video game definition of soon. All right, so we're going to be picking 2 winners. We're going to be picking 2 winners for Adrian Cantrell's All the Things. How hard is exploit development? I mean, it's not easy. How hard is it to play golf? If you'd asked me a year ago, it was pretty hard to play golf. After a year of practicing, I'm getting pretty good at it. So, I mean, listen, how hard is it? It's very programmatically intense. It's very programmatically intense. Like, you don't hear me say you need to know programming or you need to know assembly or you need to know C# until we start talking about exploit development. If we're in the exploit development phase, yeah, put on that programming hat. It's pretty programming intensive, right? It's like finding a needle in a stack of needles on a planet of needles in a universe of needles. Like that's what it's like. Tanmay, congratulations. Make sure you message Josh Mason in Discord to get your voucher. I'm not even going to pronounce the second winner. You can see it in chat. Minduck Win. I recognize the last name. Win, I think, is how you say that in the last name. We're terribly sorry for butchering your name. You won the second giveaway. Please make sure you message. Now listen, don't everybody bounce off the stream, because if you've seen, we've got sometimes we get surprise giveaways and sometimes we get rerolls. You never know which way it's gonna go. Actually, I do have, you know what? I do got something to give away. I got something. We'll do another giveaway if I can find it in my DMs. Sec IT guy, I'm gonna send you something. As soon as I can find it in my DMs. Let's get. We're not gonna tell anybody about this one just yet. We'll let it be a surprise, but we will give away. Here we go. We got here. I'm gonna send you these Sec IT guy. We're gonna give. There you go. Let's go ahead and set those. Let me know when those are set up in Streamlabs. Yeah. All right. Neil, where'd you get? Where can I get that amazing huge cup? I actually got this one when I was stationed in Germany. I spent 4 years in Germany. And I actually got this one at a beer fest in Germany. I've got 4 of them downstairs. I've done both sets of them on stream before, but I actually wouldn't even know where you would get these in the States. But I got them from Germany. I love this cup. I try to mix it up with you all on the cups. Like, I try to find like cups. I'm like, okay, what kind of cup do I have? Oh my God, I'm going to do a poll. I'm curious. Do a poll here. Everybody get ready for an incoming poll. There we go. We're gonna do a poll. Let's see who's interested in doing a mug club, right? I like that. Like we do some cyber. I don't think we don't have any cyber insecurity stuff on the merch shop when it comes to mugs. Jack and I could probably sit down and come up with some. We've got a whole bunch of quotes that we've been keeping over the year. We could always do some mugs with some quotes on it. Let me know if you guys are interested in a little bit of like a mug club, type of thing. Drop your opinion in there. Maybe we do some cyber insecurity mug club stuff. But I don't think you can get this one anywhere. I had a question. Where is it? Hello, Neil. I have a question. I'm from Iran and I really want to become a hacker, but because of U.S. restrictions on USA, no IT exam is allowed in Iran. Should I take those exams in another country? This is hard. This is hard, right? It's... Oh, Amoeba's got a narwhal mug? Apparently we had narwhal mugs in there at one point in time. I was talking to Gordon Lawson about this last time him and I played golf, right? This is a hard one. Right? U.S. restrictions mean we can't sell to Iran, right? So yeah, like, we can't sell training to Iran. Like, if we trained, hackers in Iran and then you went to go work for somebody in Iran, right? We'd be facilitating, a hostile nation state, activity against the U.S., right? The U.S. has a tendency to frown upon that. But at the same time, there's a lot of us who are like, but there are good people who want to do good things, and we should help facilitate good people doing good things. I wish I had a better answer for you. I really do. I empathize with you wholeheartedly. I really do. I'm sorry. I don't have a good answer for you. This is one of those times where, I will never advocate for anybody doing anything illegal. I will never, ever, ever advocate for anybody doing anything illegal. But I empathize with you here. Please don't do anything illegal. But, there's got to be a way. I just don't, if anybody's got any non-illegal ways, drop them into chat. We're not going to condone any type of illegal activity. We're not going to condone content pirating. We're not going to condone, anything illegal. But this is a hard question. I apologize. Yeah. Isn't that the whole issue with those that were part of the NSA CIA that went to work at the UAE? Yeah, they went to work at the UAE because they were going to pay them lots of money to basically hack the enemies of the UAE, hack people who were of interest to them. So no links, no torrents, don't do any of that. Looking for collective conversation, not again. Let's keep chat on the up and up. Let's keep the suggestions on the up and up, please. Don't want to ban anybody for it. I want to try to facilitate education and learning as much as possible. We want to keep it up on the up and up. Josh, you got that second winner? Let me know. Phantom 89X says, have you ever got caught and had to get escorted out by security when trying to get access to a building while doing a vulnerability social engineering test? I've gotten caught. I didn't have to get escorted out by security because I showed them my get out of jail for free paper. Didn't have to get escorted out by security, but yeah, I've gotten caught. Yeah. I talked about this a little. I think this was last week's stream. If anybody remembers, if it was last week's Tea with a Hacker or the week before's Tea with a Hacker, I told a story where Okay, so we had to re-roll for that second winner. This is why I tell you all not to leave. Cam, if you can hear my voice, please message Josh Mason in Discord to claim your Adrian Cantrell, all the things. This is why I tell y'all not to leave. That's why I tell y'all not to leave. You never know what's going to happen. Yeah, absolutely. It happens. Like, I think the biggest thing that I would say, right, is, when you get caught, like, and this is what I want you to think about, right? If you're profiling a building, if you're profiling a company to pen test or to break into, right, for a pen test, right? You should know the culture. You should know the company. You should know, you should know all the things, right? Because all those things are part of your pre-engagement, reconnaissance that you're doing to ensure the effective. You wouldn't launch an exploit that only works in Windows against the Linux server farm, would you? Hopefully most of you pen testers wouldn't do that. So why would you show up in a three-piece suit to a startup that you're trying to social engineer into? Right? Your pretext matters. Your recon matters. Right? And so if you get caught, your recon failed, and that is okay. Right? And maybe that's a little vitriol. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Either your recon failed or their security controls worked. Could be an option, right? Either way, one of the things that I want to say is that, and I see this on socials a lot with new pen testers. They hit that oh shoot moment where they do a pen test on an organization and they don't find any vulnerabilities. They can't hack in. Things like that. Right? And you have to remember that that's actually good news. Right? That's actually good news. You may not like it, right? But in some cases, you've got to sit back and go, maybe they actually are secure. Despite all the bad things that you hear about people getting, people pen testing these companies and getting in during these crazy ways, if you get caught, if your exploit doesn't work, if you don't find any vulnerabilities on a pen test, you do need to have a heart-to-heart with yourself that sits back and says, maybe they were secure. Maybe their controls worked. And that is okay. If your scope allows it. So we're going to go ahead and start the second giveaway. The second giveaway, I want to give a huge shout out to Doc Jade. Doc Jade is doing some amazing things out here. We've seen him in chat. Doc Jade has volunteered several of his Linux 101 courses out to the community to be given away on stream. We're going to give away 2 of those this morning, Linux 101. So if you're looking to take another awesome course by Doc Jade, a member of your community, please support him. Go take that course, Linux 101. Even if you think you are a ninja at Windows, he's probably got some tips and tricks that that you could learn as well. But listen, I want to emphasize something, right? I want to emphasize something. Make sure you're going to use the stuff that we give away, right? Folks in this community give away things because they want you all to succeed. So my personal ask to you, go take these courses, go take Adrian Cantrell's All the Things, go take Doc Jade's Linux 101, give them credit. Give them that shout out on socials. Right? Let them know that they did awesome work because they believe in you. They believe in you. So give them the due diligence that they need. Give them the credit that they need for putting something out there for you. That's a serious ask for y'all. Can we assume in a situation like this, let's do some phishing and install a C2 implant to start a red team engagement? I think you should have had that conversation beforehand. Right? You in a situation like this, when you phrase it like this, Carlos, I wonder if you're saying, oh, that didn't work, let's go do this instead. Listen, Jack, I'm having a hard time talking about this. Cyber secrets, y'all. Jack and I have been talking, and Jack and I are road mapping a course that I'm going to write for INE. This question right here, this is a question that I want to put into a course for y'all based on my experience. There's more to this question. In a general sense, the answer is yes, but you probably should have figured that out beforehand, and it actually should have been in your operations plan. Actually should have been in your ops plan beforehand. Hey, Neil, I'm interested in surfing the Tor Onion web. Do you have a good list of useful Onion addresses I can use for Tor browser? There are no useful Onion addresses to surf the dark web. Like, it's not like a, listen, like this, it's not like there is such a misconception. John Hammond's got a great video on this. David did an interview with John on this, right? It's not, there's no good resources. Go to the giant wiki, the Tor wiki, the underground wiki, whatever it's called these days. There's some links on there. Go search darknet market uptime, right? There's websites out there on the ClearNet that actually track darknet market uptime. If you want to do it from like a research perspective, go research the darknet markets that have the largest uptime. Go check those out. But I'm very cynical on this answer. I don't think there is a good answer to that. How to learn AppSec as absolute beginner. Go take Pen Testing Student. Go take pen testing student, go learn pen testing 101, then branch out from there into DevSecOps, web application penetration testing, cloud security, cloud, all the things. Rajesh, how important is mathematics in cybersecurity? Not very. You can see that I struggle to do simple math on stream. Not that important. Computers, last I checked, were computational devices. I let the computer do all my math for me. Few more seconds on that last raffle. If those of you who are on the fence about whether you want a Linux 101 course. There was one I saw that I wanted to bring to the top. This one, Arc Saber had a really good question here. I thought this question from Arc Saber was really, really good. How do you deal with... What's that? Redbeard86, congratulations. I want to give a huge shout out to Redbeard. Anyway, Redbeard is as part of our basic mentorship member. You know, and it's been a real pleasure looking at your resume. You know, and helping you watch you on your career journey. So congratulations. Make sure you reach out to Josh, or reach out to Sec IT Guy for that one, right? I gave that one to you, Sec IT Guy. Yeah, reach out to Sec IT Guy. Sec IT Guy has got your voucher for Linux 101, Redbeard. Congratulations. How do you deal with... You got a second one for me? Serpicio, if you can hear my voice is my password, please reach out to Sec IT Guy to get your Linux 101. How do you deal with politics in a cybersecurity role, and how do you learn politics? God, I hate this. I hate and I love this question at the same time. I hate and I love this question at the same time, right? Anybody watch Game of Thrones? Anybody a Game of Thrones fan? I know it's very entertaining. It's a highly entertaining show. But that's very much how I feel like politics in some of these organizations are, right? Is you know, you think you understand the politics one day and then you come in the next day and like they're vastly different. The dichotomies have changed. You've got new leadership in place, organizations reorg around you, new lands have been taken, things like that. It is very, oh God. My hesitation with the answer to this question, right, is because there's a couple of different ways to answer it, right? The best way to deal with the best way to learn politics is to get involved in politics. Sometimes that's easier said than done. It's very easy. Listen, if you get thrust into management, you will quickly learn politics. And if not, you will get eaten up, chewed up, and spit out. Right? I don't think that there's an easy way to ease into learning politics in a corporate environment. And it's not just a cybersecurity position, right? Like when we talk about this, the politics here, right, they're across the entire organization, right? How do you convince the business to invest in cybersecurity? How do you get a manufacturing line worker to care about that phishing email? How do you get them to stop looking at porn on Facebook? Right? It's insane. It's insane, right? And so, you know, the hard answer to this, Arc Saber or anybody else who's listening, right, is you got to dive into it. You got to get you a leadership position, because leadership is the closer you get to that sun, the hotter it gets. cybersecurity community is the Starks. The cyber status quo is the Lannisters. As long as I'm not Ned Stark getting beheaded, I don't want that one on my conscience. Awesome. Thank you to both of the winners who reached out to Sec IT Guy and claimed their vouchers. Congratulations to all the winners today. Smart student, we get this one a lot, right? We get this one a lot. Today, no questions that I asked were answered. I'm sorry. Really, truly am incredibly sorry for that. Not my intention by any stretch of the imagination. Not my intention at all. But what I would really like to take a minute to show you and everybody else, just as a reminder, because I do think it's important for you all to see, as soon as I can find it. That's what I thought. Looking for looking for something specific so I can show you. My God, I can't find it. I can't find it. I'm so like I can't even run my own. I can't even run my own software sometimes. Don't tell me what to skip, Jack. You don't get to tell me what to skip on my own stream. Jack, you don't get to tell me what to skip on my own stream. So just as a reminder for folks, right? This is where we keep all the questions, right? This is where this is the API that pulls for vMix for all of the chat that happens inside of inside the stream right now, right? We then take all these questions, right? We add it to a queue, and you can see here, this is the queue that we have for all the questions, right? And so our goal every stream that we try to do is to grab as many questions as possible. We grab them, add them to the queue, and then we try to go through this queue and answer literally as many questions as possible. And this is what the mod team does to help support the stream, right? And so I understand the frustration. I really do. I get the frustration when your question doesn't get answered. I promise you, it's nothing against you. It's nothing personal. It's not that your question sucks. It's not that we think your question's irrelevant. It's not that at all. It's that we're literally trying to get through as many of the questions as possible. I am incredibly long-winded. I know that 100%. I like to talk. This is why you should follow me on socials, because we oftentimes do Q&As on Instagram, Twitter, right? YouTube, right? Where I post up areas for you to ask questions. But this is also why we stream as many times that we do stream, right? This is why we have a Discord for you to get into. This is why this traditionally had started out being an hour-long stream, and I've extended it several times, you know, to stay on here a little bit longer to answer questions. And so I appreciate everybody's patience. I appreciate everybody's patience when asking questions, right? I do absolutely the best that I can to answer as many questions as possible on stream together. And so I appreciate your question. It's nothing against you. We've got hundreds of questions that we're trying to get through from everybody. So speaking of which, now I'm checking the time. I do have to go here before long because I do have some meetings to attend to, but I am going to try to answer a couple more. How do you manage your time in percentages? Example, family 30, education 20, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know that I've ever sat down and quantified the percentages. I would say that my family is definitely not as high as it needs to be. Carmen and I have unhealthy relationships with our jobs, and with our hobby, with cybersecurity being a hobby. You know, and so like, I would say probably, you know, work obviously consumes a large part of my life. You know, I'd probably say that I'm probably 40% work. I'd say I'm 40% work, right? The other 60%, I'm trying to increase my golf percentage more, right? So I think my golf percentage right now is like 25%. Oh God, I gotta get a calculator out for that one. Okay, so I say 40% for work plus 25% for golf. I'd probably say 25% for family. And at least 10% for myself. Like when you see me online, hanging out in sub chat, playing World of Warcraft, you know, hanging out with you all, BSing, you know, that kind of thing. That's that 10% time. That's that 10% time. Yeah. So I'd probably say that's probably how mine breaks down if I had to think about it. Somebody got it. Yes, it does. It says dad in binary. One of my kids got it for me. Clip this and show it to her. Will Carmen be coming in for a Christmas special? No. If Carmen comes on stream, you all should be worried. You all should be worried if Carmen comes on stream because something bad has happened. Something bad has happened. My good man, Gerald Auger. Glad to see you, as always, in chat. Make sure you go check out my boy, Gerald Auger's channel, Simply Cyber. What else we got here? What are we at? 9:55. Let's see. I'm looking through questions to see if I can pick up a good one to close out on. Yes. Would you ever do a scenario walkthrough of an hour? Yes. I want to do this so bad. I do. I want to do this so bad. That's on the docket of things. That's on the docket of things that we're really wanting to do more of. Absolutely, 100%. What happened to the gunners, Neil? I got LASIK. I got my eyes fixed. That's what happened to the gunners. I haven't ordered a new set of like non-prescription gunners. What one book would you recommend for diving into cloud for the first time? John Helmus's Pen Testing and AWS book, 100%. If somebody's got a link to that, if one of the mods can grab a link to John Helmus's book, I absolutely recommend that. People were commenting on my Tea with a Hacker mug, Gerald, and so I was asking if there was an interest in, you know, Sec IT guy and I putting some mug clubs up on the merch store to have people show off their cyber and security mugs. Which, looking at that poll, looks like 92% of you would be interested in a mug club. Sec IT guy, looks like Noah, you and I are doing this weekend. Do this one. Hey Neil, I failed my first attempt at OSCP, currently practicing more, but still feel down. Any motivation? You know, Gary Vaynerchuk would say. Gary Vaynerchuk, like my all-time favorite quote from Gary Vaynerchuk, right? And the reason that this triggered me, right, was you say any motivation, right? Any motivation. He's sitting in the back of his car. He's on his cell phone. Woman recognizes him as he goes into his car. If you never looked up Gary Vaynerchuk, you should absolutely go look up Gary Vaynerchuk, right? He's an amazing individual, right? He's a very real person. Like when we talk about soapboxes with Neil, when we talk about like straight talk with Neil, I very much like he is an embodiment of how straight and direct I want to be, right? So he's sitting in his car. He's on his phone, right? He's got his phone right here, sitting in his car, and woman comes up, knocks on the glass of his car. He rolls the window down, and she says, Gary Vaynerchuk, huge fan. Give me some motivation for my day. And you know what he says to her? He looks at her and says, "You're going to die." Think about that for a second. Think about that for a second. Most of you are like, what? How is that motivational? You're going to die. Take the time that you need to do what it is to be happy in your life. You want motivation? How happy is this going to make you in your life to get this done? How important is this into your when we get back to that like center mass, right? When you get to that hard feeling in your heart, right? Right? Is this worth losing sleep over? Right? Is this worth beating yourself up over? Is this worth getting down on yourself over? Right? You could die tomorrow. You could die tomorrow. So what good does it do you to be pissed at yourself today? You're going to die. You need motivation? Use that. Use that. Get your ass up. Do something about it. Do something about it. All right. Cyber insecurity fam. I love you all. You all, listen, real quick before we sign off for today. I can't even begin to tell you how important you all are in my life every day. Period. Dot. I appreciate every single one of you. I love this community so much. I love the community that we have built over the last year. And that's what we are. We're a team, and we're a community, we're a family trying to be, whether you're just getting started in this industry, whether you've been in this industry for 15 years, you all matter and you all are important. I apologize to everybody for missing 2 streams this week. We were supposed to have Rick on this week. I apologize that we had to cancel that one. Some stuff came up here at home, right? But you all are awesome, and it hurts me whenever we have to cancel streams. We'll be off next week for Thanksgiving. Carmen and I are actually going to try to take some vacation. Monday's stream may be a little iffy, depending on how much of the prep work for the trip we get done over the weekend. Monday's stream probably has like a 51% chance of happening as of right now. Wednesday's stream will be canceled. Friday's Tea with a Hacker will be canceled because we will be playing some golf. We'll be coming back hot and heavy on Monday, November 29th. Don't forget, we got Ben Spring from TryHackMe coming in on November 29th. We're going to talk about TryHackMe, Advent of Cyber. We're going to be doing a massive giveaway on the 29th. There's a post up about it. That post is done really, really well. Let's continue to give visibility and traction on that post. We'll have some more social media shoutouts going on. Make sure you hit ! Partners. Do support our partners out there. They are here to provide prizes and discounts for you, the community. And listen, whether you're on the red side, whether you're on the blue side, whether you're still deciding, keep learning. I'll see y'all in Discord. I'll see you on the socials.